Hey everybody, welcome to Tuesday Night Live at Grumpy Acres Farm. Listen, before we go on, storms rolling through. We literally have thunder snow going right now. So if the connection starts getting choppy, we may have to drop off, just so you know.
We'll try to get back.
And Spag says, anytime Angie Chest has a G or G says, no, that's not it, just stop, or anything relevant. That's when you drink. If you're not drinking alcohol, just don't be a Sally, okay? Don't be a Sally. If you're gonna do it, go all in.
When did we become a drinking game?
I don't know. When you're predictable.
Okay, great.
Okay, so let's see who else in the house. We got Starla. Good to hear that you guys are safe. We're sorry about your community members there, Starla, but we're glad that you're safe.
Yeah, so anybody that doesn't know, wildfires went down through their township and took out a lot of it.
And then we got
house is still good though.
Then we got Spags, we got the Terminator, we got HG causing problems. Did you get your deck of WRL cards there?
Probably not yet because we were a little late. But I got confirmation yesterday they've been shipped.
Oh, okay, so they have been shipped.
Yeah.
And then we got Tamra. Let's see here. Who else showed up? Tiger, how you doing, Tiger? And Gregory Kissel, how you doing? Let's see if I can catch up. You guys are tearing up. Spag, we love you too. In that weird uncle sort of way, weird cousin sort of way. Skane's girl shows up too, saying hi to everybody, doing lots of typing. Yeah. Oh, I missed RN too. RN showed up.
Hey.
RN showed up. Well, I hope you guys had a good week. It was February kind of has sucked health-wise.
For you?
Yeah, for me. I got the flu. I caught the flu this week, so I was out of work one day and was barely functioning on Saturday. Felt better on Sunday, but yeah, just the whole month has just been one thing after another. I'll be glad when it's over.
Yeah, that strain was really weird too because Nick had it.
My boss had it,
and it was worse than you.
Right.
And then I had it, and you were worse than me. Like, I didn't even know I had it until the one night I ended up sleeping,
Sunday night.
12, 14 hours. And I was like, I got up and I was like, holy heck. I mean, no, that was Friday night. I was like, I know that I was up early because I went and met community members for breakfast. That should not have worn me out like that. And then the next night, I slept again. That one was 12 hours. And I was just in and out. I guess that was Sunday night. And I was in and out of sleep from 8 o'clock until, oh my gosh, I probably finally ended up forcing myself to go in and take a shower about 11, 12, something like that in the afternoon. And because I was just sweating so bad. So apparently I was sicker than I knew I was.
Yeah.
So, yeah, craziness.
Still got some work done this week. Did you get the planting the beds in the greenhouse planted with anything?
No, but I did get the outdoor beds planted with everything.
What'd you get planted outdoors?
A lot of herbs. I got celery going too. Got all kinds of stuff. I got amaranth going. I got a lot. So there's a lot in the ground ready to go, and greenhouse will be my next one. I went out to go plant in the greenhouse. I was telling you this. Mm-hmm. I went out to go plant in the greenhouse, and it was 110 degrees in the greenhouse. And I went, whoa, it's time to start opening everything up, getting that done. So we'll get through this little madness of weather today and tomorrow, and then I'll have a better idea how to regulate the greenhouse, and I'll start getting everything planted, cleaned up out of there. So.
It was 80 degrees here yesterday, and it's supposed to be down into the teens tonight.
85 yesterday.
And we got 40 to 60 mile bursts of wind.
I can't remember what you said, yeah. But yeah, so now we're dealing with that. It sounds really rough outside right now.
There's like lightning and it's spitting snow at us.
That's moving south now, but still spitting snow.
So yeah, was fighting with Fancy. Fancy for some reason does not like the thunder now, so
that's a new thing.
She kept trying to come into the house, so leave her out there. If it gets too bad, we were trying to figure something out.
We can throw in their laundry room, I guess, but
No,
I don't
just
want to.
leave her on the chain and bring her in so she can't wander around.
Yeah, but then Dolly goes after her. So
the Dolly can stay in there.
right. So then you're putting one in a crate to sacrifice the other. It's just I don't understand why she's not using the doghouse.
Because she's a moron. My wife brings these animals in that are borderline retard. Yeah.
It's not nice.
Yeah. See, we've got the thunderstorms rolling through too.
It'll be to you guys over in Missouri in no time.
I worked outside, got general cleanup, getting ready to start putting some fencing in. Neighbor Chris is going to bring his skid loader with the auger on it, and we're going to set some hedge posts and finally get some proper fencing in. It's not going to enclose the paddocks or the pastures or anything, but it's going to make it so that I can control them better, because there's going to be a large 600 stretch of fence that they can't go through. Mm-hmm. And then spent yesterday, replaced a window and worked on the second bedroom, getting it done.
It's looking good. I feel much better about the level of the hallway too now, because you put some of the boarding down there between the bedroom and the bathroom, and I feel much better about that. I think we're going to be able to level that out and make that work. So,
has anybody noticed where the sun is rising and setting? Yeah, here in Kansas. Here in Kansas, it's coming up in the east and it's setting in the west. I don't know where it is everybody else, but that's where it is. That's where it is here. Yes, it is. It is raising. It is getting higher and higher in the sky every morning, which is nice. Which is really nice.
Spring is here.
Is it here yet?
Day after tomorrow.
Day after tomorrow.
I mean, not officially, but by Angela's calendar.
No, I think we'll know when it's officially spring because I've got a community post coming.
Oh. Well, I would say it was officially spring as of today, because I saw something that in all the years that we've had poultry and turkeys, I've never seen anything like this.
This fascinates her so much. This is what I have to live with. So tell them.
I have never seen turkey sex, and so I was floored. At first, I was very concerned, and then Dolly was very concerned, and we were both sitting there watching this, and Dolly looked at me and she's like, Mom, like, I need to do something about this. And I'm like, I don't know what to do about this. I'm not sure. And I was like, are they fighting? Are they like, what's going on here? Anyway, after what I witnessed, I never want to witness it again. Unfortunately, we're at the height of spring, so not much you can do about it.
Yeah, see.
It's a family show. I'm telling you, I had to call Patty. I'm like, how come you never told me this? She says, you've been raising turkeys longer than I have. Like, but I've never witnessed it before. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's crazy. Boy, they're mean to each other. It's like, here, let me knock you out. I'm going to take your neck off. But, oh, wait, you can pleasure me first. And then she was just so appalled by what had just happened. Literally, I've never seen this before. The poor thing. She just ducked her head and then just kind of waddled, like not even with pride. It was that shame walk.
It was the walk of shame.
And so she just did the walk of shame back into the coop. And it was terrible. You know, all the other toms were like, hey, we saw what happened. And they were all fanned out and doing their thing. And she's like, no, I'm not having it. And she just shamefully walked back up into the chicken coop. I'd never seen anything like it. Oh my goodness. Oh jeez.
You should have liked to help Grumpy beat the lizard people. No, you can't beat them. Can't beat them. Just keep them at bay.
Yeah. What, you got to adjust. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. It's.
Yeah, that stupid little groundhog. He was right. Glad they didn't do the coin toss.
And isn't daylight savings coming up?
It is.
Sometime soon.
What day? Next weekend, maybe? Is that next weekend?
I don't know. I gotta look it up.
It's coming. I've got it on the. Oh, here. It's right here.
Homestead Medical made it. How you doing, Chuck? Can Squash. How you doing? So yeah, got the. It was really wild because I got that window replaced and I got it all foamed in and got. I haven't put the insulation up, but I got the foam with the silver on one side of it up.
March 10th.
And it made a huge difference the day before. When it was cold the day before, it stayed warmer in there. And yesterday, whenever it heated up, it stayed nice and cool in there, which was awesome.
Brahma roosters.
Some gay Brahma roosters. But we're not questioning it.
Spring.
We accept them the way they are, right?
As long as they don't look each other in the eyes.
They can go to freezer camp just as well as the other ones. Which we were talking about that tonight or today. We've got 6 or 8 of those fryers left, and then we got about 4 roosters that are going to go to rooster camp.
Yep.
I'm not gonna lie.
Gonna get you all some barbecue chicken.
I'm not gonna lie. A couple of them, I'm gonna be sad to go because they got some personality to them.
And they're pretty.
Yeah.
But they got to go.
So if anybody's local and they want a couple of good roosters, let me know. I might just hand them off to you. One's a naked neck, and
Well, he's part naked neck.
we're gonna get rid of him because we don't.
He's ugly, and
Well,
I don't want to breed it.
We're not getting rid of him because he's ugly. We're getting rid of him because we don't want the
We don't
breed.
want that breed.
We don't want the breed in
Yeah.
here.
Oh, which Mrs. Hacks, when I was talking to her tonight,
Yeah.
she has breast eggs coming out of her gourd. So her incubators will all be full. She's borrowing one from Data and his lovely bride. And they're going to get that filled up, I think by Friday. And then she said, I have eggs open. And I said, well, I've got 2 incubators that are full right now. But possibly I could get another incubator and incubate all breast eggs. So,
Or we could just hatch these out and get more breasty eggs later on.
no, I only have. Well, I did tell her that too, but now I'm thinking maybe I just go ahead and look and see what's on sale and see if I can find something because now's the time those are going to be.
So
on
we've
sale.
got 72 eggs in there, in the 2 incubators.
How can you part naked neck? So you get eggs from Hitch and incubate them, and then you go, ooh, what the world is that? Why does that one have 0 feathers on its neck? And then all of a sudden it has feathers in the front, but not on the back. And so
They know what naked necks are. He's asking how you could get rid of it.
Oh, part with naked neck? Oh, easily. They're ugly.
And
I don't
quite
know.
honestly, he's kind of a beta rooster.
Yeah.
He's
not very strong.
We've got 3 roosters that are very dominant, and one of them is one of Milo's offspring, so it's a Canadian partridge. And I'm not sure the other ones have some Canadian partridge in them, but they're not full. They're not full Canadian partridge, so I'm not really quite sure
what we're gonna do with those.
where their dads or what the mom and dad is.
We do have some really pretty ones out there that were very hardy through the winter, and those I do want to continue. But we do need to figure out who needs to go to freezer camp. Oh, duck eggs too. Yeah, duck eggs would be nice. I'm almost ready for ducks. We got to figure out a shelter by the pond because that is going to help keep that water and get that from going
Well, the shelter's
down.
going to be up here, and they can walk down to the pond.
Okay, so we need to get that figured out. That'll happen this year, and then I actually have between Spags and then Tracy, we'll have ducks on hand from Tracy. And then I'm sure Spags could part with some eggs for the incubator.
Why don't you ask him instead of just?
I have talked to him
Okay.
before, and it's one of those things we didn't have the shelter. So, but yeah, because I think he was looking at possibly we were going to trade turkey eggs. If I remember that correctly, Spags, I think that's what we were talking about. So.
Yeah, and as far as the 71 eggs go, I was talking with somebody about it, and they were like, "Wow, that's a lot of eggs." And I had to explain to them, we lost over 80 chickens last year.
Yep.
And
Yeah, so
we
Spags-
got everybody that we know that free ranges their chickens and lets them run around. Just went through chickens like crazy this last year. And you got to keep breeding them.
Tamber had some stuff going on. Tamber, hopefully, Skane's girl sent you my message. She asked me about what was going on. Tamber lost a chicken to poultry pox. And to poultry pox. Couldn't find out. The neighbor lost a few to the same problem earlier. And so my whole question was, in fact, I'm not sure I sent this part to Skane's, but what I was telling Garen was that I find out somebody in the community brought in a different chicken because that should not just be popping up. And if it did just pop up, or somebody even adopted, you want to do the same thing and make sure that you get that diatomaceous earth down everywhere. You want to kill that, knock that virus out, get it out, because it'll wipe out your flock pretty damn quick.
Yeah, Cans, we lost 50 fryers when it got really, that 2 weeks it was really cold.
Yeah.
We lost those.
Some of the OGs we lost.
And we lost some of the OGs, and then we probably lost more than 80, come to think of it.
Yeah.
Because we lost 15 in the dog attack, and then our dogs had a problem this spring.
With impulse control.
Or I'm sorry, this winter can't talk.
This year.
They had a problem for about a month where they had impulse control problems, and
Seems to be a lot of impulse control problems around here lately.
Okay, she hasn't lost it, but she can't see. Both eyes are crusted over. Well, that's good. Woodchuck was in the chicken run yesterday, but got away. Wait, you know what? That's the weird thing. So at our old house, we had a real problem with raccoons.
Fox.
A fox got in there, and a hawk got in there.
An owl.
Was there an owl that got in there one time?
No, there was an owl. I didn't think it was a hawk.
No, there was a hawk. I saw it was in the daylight. Yeah. But so we had predator problems like that. We have not had. We had one possum in one of the coops, and that's it. The rest of it has been out on the property
and other people's animals.
And other people's animals. You know.
I'm just gonna start shooting other people's animals. I just don't care anymore.
Somebody lost control of a controlled burn just across the scanner. Yeah, there's a lot of that going on. You drive up 75, which is the major highway here, and there's burn marks all over the place.
What I don't understand, well, there's control burns going on, but in fact, Tracy and Jay, I think they were supposed to do a control burn. They got to get the pasture and everything taken care of across the road, and so they were going to do that. But with these winds, you just don't do it. It's not worth it. Why are you going to sacrifice your neighbor's farm and your entire township's farms for that? You know, it's not worth it. Yeah.
Well, this morning it wasn't windy. It didn't start getting windy until.
But we were under a red alert today, and everybody knew that. Everybody's known that for 2 days. They said, do not burn. In fact, it was iffy yesterday. Because remember, I told you, I said, well, I was going to burn trash, but I guess I won't. And because it started picking up a little bit yesterday. And I figured if it's red today, then, or yesterday, I said, if it's red tomorrow, probably not a good idea today because you just don't know. Mm-hmm. And so I didn't burn, which is why, the trash is still in the house. So, but we'll get it after tomorrow. I think it's supposed to be nice on Thursday. I'll get everything burned and do all that.
And that's a class if you have a community and you're out in the country. That may be a class that you want to have. We had one of our potlucks, and somebody spoke about how to properly do a controlled burn and how to keep it from, or how to deal with it once it gets out of control, if it gets out of control. So, that might be a class to have somebody that's on the fire department come, or just somebody that does it a lot. Have them do that and share that information and share that experience so that everybody knows. In fact, he gave away after the class. He gave away
a shovel,
a rake, and a bucket for carrying sand or water in.
Yeah,
one of those, just something you could use for it.
You have to be responsible when you're doing that stuff. If you're gonna go that way and not do regenerative gardening, then or farming. That's what you got to do. So, just is what it is.
There's a huge fire near North Platte.
This is not good. That means you need to make some phone calls. We need to make sure that
Aunt Jean's okay.
Aunt Jean's okay.
Hey, Dorothy, how you doing?
Not to mention your cousin, because they've got some of our goats and sheep, and so we need to make sure they're okay. They've got a large farm out there, so.
In fact, one of our first goat babies is out there.
Mm-hmm.
All my seed potatoes are budding. I can't plant them until May. Speaking of planting, we planted some stuff. Tell them about what we planted.
Didn't we talk about that last week?
Did we talk about the food forest last week?
I think so. I thought so.
Well, we planted it.
We
got a video. There's a video coming out tomorrow
Yeah.
of her showing you what it was like unboxing them, and then a very short video of me throwing some in the ground and talking about what we're going to do.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you guys that the foodforestnursery.com yeah, we did talk about this because I had you throw it in the link in the live,
Oh,
remember? You can do it again, throw that link in the live. But man, I've never seen starting roots on this, on anything like that called bare root like that before. That was crazy amazing. So I'm getting an order together now because I'm going to go ahead and order some more.
Yeah, either we have to be responsible or bow to the heavy-handed regulatory state.
Yep.
Gee, you mean personal responsibility can trump government control if we are a disciplined and learned populace?
Spags, hacks are not on here, and guess why? They are at a Brown County
Freedom
Alliance meeting, and so it's the first one they've attended. So they're going to try to figure out what this means and what goes into it. And I told you we need to find out if there's one here, and then if there's not, we need to figure out how to organize one. Not that you're in our county, but I thought that would interest you. And I met somebody, Miss Paula and her husband. She is jumping in and getting started and all of that. I had to talk her off the ledge a little bit and just say, slow down, take a deep breath. Let's focus. What's most important to you right now? They're cattle farmers, and they are down towards your area. And I think we need to hook you guys up. And they have Data's number. I told him to go ahead and call Data.
They were at
Midwest Preparedness Festival, not the last one, but the one before. And so
the one that Callie was at.
Yes. And so we need to get you guys hooked up. They're neat people. I'm going to do some classes on canning and that kind of thing. She wants to learn how to make bread and all that. So we're going to put some classes together and do all that. But I think you guys would be good ones to hook up with. You guys are too close to not know each other. So
that's the one bad thing about that flu stuff. It sits right up here after you're done being sick.
it's like right up in
It
here.
sits right here and it's been there for a couple of days. Can't wait for it to go away.
At least you're the one hacking and not me. That's a first for a while.
But so anyway.
Have you been taking the elderberry syrup?
No.
You need to. That'll
where.
wipe the rest of it is. It's
Yeah.
right there by the. See, it's labeled. It says elderberry syrup, and it's right by your drink
No.
glass.
Oh, stuffed in the back.
Oh.
Actually, that's your drink glass. Mine's right here.
I thought you took mine over because I haven't used that. Because I thought you took them over.
No, I took your lid because your dog ate my lid.
Because you threw it on the ground.
No, it fell on the ground. And I was entertaining.
Careful, you're gonna get everybody drinking.
I was entertaining everybody online or on the live, and I didn't want it.
I was
didn't want to
sitting
go
right
down.
next to you.
And you didn't.
That was
grab it.
my fault.
I didn't say it was your fault.
I
I said it was your dog's fault.
feel like there's a ghost in the room, and I might have a lantern lit.
Oh, let's see. What do we got? Once I will make. So y'all have your own wells in the country. If you can afford it, put a 2-inch line for fire control. You may thank me one day. Oh yeah.
That was the nice thing about this couple is we were talking and he was telling me about some resources that they have because of course they're running cattle, so there's land everywhere. You're not just all in one spot, and yeah, they've got that really well under control. So I was super excited. I think they're going to be a great addition to the community. I really do. So excited about that.
Look what you're doing.
Told you. No,
Everclear and elderberry syrup might help with the cough.
I don't think I have any Everclear.
Nah, I'm not gonna. If I do it, I'll
You
mix.
don't need that either.
I'll
but-
mix it with some bourbon.
I don't think I have any bourbon. on
Actually,
there either.
she made it. I ought to take some of that stuff.
The cough medicine.
She made a cough medicine with. It was rye whiskey though, right?
Mm-mm. No,
Bourbon?
I used a bourbon.
But it's bourbon and cayenne and a little bit of sweet stuff. And,
I'll be giving my recipe out.
okay, I'm not going to give you the recipe. It works. And I'll tell you what, you do that with some Robitussin DM.
But you also better keep a box of Kleenex next to you too if you're congested. So.
Oh yeah, because it'll empty your sinuses.
Yep.
But you mix those two and it makes remember, you guys remember when we were kids, the Robitussin DM was like really high octane and you took a shot and you were out cold. So you can't do that
See
anymore.
what Rabbit said?
What?
So funny. That's funny.
You know what? Offset.
Boy, the cases. That's for medicine.
Actually,
He's
she
already
found
got medicine made.
she found a really good deal on 100 proof vodka in plastic bottles, which is great for storage. But it's actually good quality vodka.
Oh, Spags, honey, you can have some. I've got some. I'll get you another jar made. Or if you want to trade something, you can. What did I trade Chris? It was, I think we did for a quart jar was $20. So he was able to get me some something from Dr. Lassie that we keep, and G had to get into because he got sick.
Ivermectin.
So
Ivermectin is a great drug.
So perhaps
I'm not a doctor. We're not medical professionals. We're doing this strictly for entertainment, much like Dr. Bones and Nurse Amy.
So tell you what, I'll make you a jar if you could, maybe we could trade a strip of that.
And yes, I took it when I started getting the flu. I took it.
I didn't want to get sick.
I took it early on, and then I took it the second day, and I did not have to. I did not have to take the third dosage. I probably should have, but I didn't. But
yeah, I probably would not have gotten sick had you have.
No, you're already. I guarantee you're already.
You think so?
Yeah, I guarantee.
Which, like I said, I didn't even know I was sick. So
because the stuff that
Spags got me. Good deal. Yeah.
So I use them. Oh yeah, the tinctures and infusions. We were watching videos.
Heidi from Rain Country.
Heidi from Rain Country did a non-alcoholic tincture
class. Basically, it was just kind of she talked through it and did a video on it.
But so we're gonna start looking into that and what are they, oximals?
So she teaches that, and then teaches the other. So like what I do a lot with the vinegars and then the vodka and then the she was doing non-alcoholic too. So the elixirs and that kind of thing. It was just very interesting, and I sat through it and I was like, okay, well that's really good information, good to have. Yeah, she's smart. If you are not subscribed to her, you need to go do that, and that's Rain Country.
Yeah.
And so go make sure you subscribe to her. Tell her we sent you over, because she can teach you a lot. And then what she can't share on YouTube, she goes over to Rumble, so you can get everything over there on Rumble. Yeah, she did the glycerin too. Yeah. And so yeah,
she makes the oximals are vinegar and honey, or vinegar and glycerin.
Yeah.
And when we were talking about it, so we've got somebody in the community has a ton. Like she asked me, like how much it would take to make 5 gallons of wine. I was like, well, 5 gallons of elderberries. And she goes, I got it. So she's got access to a lot, and they want to make some tinctures and stuff. And so I don't want to do that. They wanted to distill it, but I was like, no, we don't want to distill it because the heat will destroy all the good stuff. All you'll be left with is the taste. And so we started talking about making tinctures with the alcohol and all this other stuff.
And this video popped up.
Literally the same night it popped up. What's that say?
Yeah.
When we carry vodka out of the store, everyone stares at us. I tell them I don't drink. Not sure they believe me.
So here's the deal. So what you do is you do what I did, and you find a liquor store that's owner is like-minded. And literally what she does, I go in, I order by the case. I am the person that does it for the community. So somebody says, well, that's a good idea. I need a case, or I need 2 cases, or hey, I've been running through this. I need another case. She gives me a discount. I get a nice discount. And so she gives me a discount when I order by the cases. And so I know exactly, she orders on Monday. I can go pick everything up on Wednesday, and when all that's coming in, unless she's busy. And then sometimes she may have to skip a week before she orders again, which is not a big deal. But also where we're at, people walking out with cases of liquor is not a big deal. We all kind of know that.
A lot of drunks around here.
We know we're all going to the same goal.
American.
We're all going to the same goal is what I would say. So yes. But yeah, and she helps me. If I really like the JW Dant, which is what I prefer in the cough syrup, but she helped me find something very similar to the gold bonded JW Dant, and it's actually pretty good.
It was pretty close.
So and it works out fine. So
yeah, so that's we're gonna hopefully be making some tinctures and having it to share with everybody.
if anybody has any good leads on oil press or extractor machines, let me know. Send it to email, send it to my text if you have my number, that kind of thing, and just let me know. I am in the market looking. So we've got a few things that are going to be ready to go in, what do you think, a month or so, month and a half?
I don't know.
So, yeah, so we probably have, oh no, you know what? It's going to be a little bit long. No, a month and a half. So we've got another 45 days on that. And then we'll be figuring that one out. Basil's coming in really good already. Savory's coming in already and that kind of stuff. So I'll need to be extracting oils from that, getting that stuff into tinctures and doing all that because we're not playing around this year. Neighbors are not playing around, community's not playing around. So we're making sure that we're getting our home pharmacies together and we're taking care of each other. I have already got dried comfrey, so I'm going to go ahead and get a hold of our local source. But we also have lambs we want to take to butcher, so I'll have plenty of tallow to render down, get that medicine made, have all of that on hand. Now that I have so many in the community that know that I have it and that I sell it, I've been selling out of that, so my production has to go up. So we're trying to figure out spreading more of the comfrey root so that we get more plants. Problem is when you cut them and you get them in, it can take a year before you get more.
It's an oil extractor, and what it is, it's basically a
Well, same thing. It's filler.
Oh,
same
is it?
thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So anybody who doesn't know it, an oil extractor is basically a still with a variable temperature control that you can finely tune.
Cold and hot, right?
Yeah,
is what we were looking at.
You can finely tune the temperature that it distills at, and it will pull all the essential oils off of whatever's in it.
HG, we looked at that, and no, I do not have one, but that is one that we did look at. So, but I don't remember why we decided not to pull the trigger on that one. I think because you found the one that was hot and cold. I think that's why.
Oh, maybe.
And it reserved the alcohol. It didn't destroy the alcohol. It actually made it stronger, didn't it? That was the one machine you were looking at, I think. I think so.
So I knew someone that was getting rid of hers. I'll see if she said, yeah, do
cool.
that, please.
Yeah.
Do that, please.
That would be awesome. I'll even drive to Casey. I will meet you. Then we can have
Well,
lunch.
we happen to be going through there several times.
That's true.
Heading out, but
starting in March.
5 weeks from now.
Yeah.
No,
not even 5.
4 weeks.
4 weeks from now.
4 weeks.
Yep.
Rabbit, there's a nice little gallon tabletop model I've seen. I'll have to look it up again. I was going to use it to make gummies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did Ghost come in? Hey, Ghost. Sorry, missed you.
Ew.
Tourmaline garlic soap. Bacardi 151. You know what? She does them in vinegar.
So garlic. I do it in vinegar. Neighbor Chris, he's actually got some in honey. He was showing me the other day on Sunday, and it all looks really good. But yeah, I like the one in vinegar. That's the one that I make him take, and try to get rid of his. What did we get rid of when you started taking your beta blocker?
My beta, yeah. Because garlic is an alpha blocker, and alpha blockers do the same thing that beta blockers do, just in a different manner.
And without the side effects.
Yeah, without the side effects.
Yeah. So
stay away from metoprolol. If your doctor ever tries putting you on metoprolol for heart problems,
you are not a doctor.
I am not a doctor. I am a patient, and I have used it before, and I can tell you right now, the side effects are not worth it.
Yeah, they've been pushing metoprolol hard lately.
Well, they have. It's even when I was at the hospital working, they push it because it works. I mean, it does what it's supposed to do, but the side effects just terrible.
Yeah, that turmeric and the ginger is also in my cough syrup.
Yep.
So.
And it's good. She made fun of me the other night though, because I pulled out a glass and I poured about 2 fingers.
Like, what are you doing? That's medicine.
I was like, yeah, I'm sick. It tastes good. It tastes good.
Yeah.
Let's see. I was doing honey garlic.
Yeah.
Yep. Just made some with just water. Give it a few more days. I do honey and vinegar with garlic and pepper infusion. Yep,
Yeah.
that's the honey and the vinegar is that amoxil that Heidi was talking about. All the cholesterol and diabetic meds are not good for you either.
No, they are not.
Yeah.
They are not.
Well, here's the deal. Here's the
We've
deal.
had this conversation.
We have. They're no big pharma. Big pharma is not there to help you. Big pharma is there to keep you hooked on their drugs. I know that from the hospital days, and they're there to sell you stuff. And as a result, a lot of the medical industry is geared towards treating the symptoms and not the root cause. And a lot of those medicines they give you treat the symptoms of what's wrong. If
and then you have to take another medication because you have to treat the symptoms of that medication. And then you get symptoms from the new medication. And then you have to get another medication because that has to treat the symptoms of the new medication. And it spirals downward very fast until you're on 58 different medicines and you're completely dilapidated and dying because you have hypoxia and you're leaving behind your children and your grandchildren. Just saying. Been there, done that, been through it. And
we're gonna
save yourselves.
We're gonna become a affiliate of Samsonite, so you'll be able to get luggage that you can carry around all the time with you. You never have to unpack it if you don't want to.
No, I just think there's some things that you go through that's a lesson, and if you're paying attention to that, and you really understand what happened, and follow that path. Because I did have conversations with my mother, and like something doesn't sound right. This is Dr. Feel Good. I don't think you need all of that, but she was a hard personality. And so she wasn't having it. So, but in hindsight, I go back and I look at how that went. And then I start seeing what's going on with G. And I'm like, no, we're correcting this. You don't feel good. Let's take you off of this and figure out, what we can replace it with. But I don't just take them off of it either.
Yeah.
I do my research first and then make sure. And I go,
and I talk to the doctor too.
I talk to the doctor. And then we go, okay, let's try this.
So Chuck makes a good point, and this is the message. The message or the reason for the message is just as important as the message. So there are no side effects, just effects. The chemical has no idea where you're taking it. You get all the effects regardless of the reason. Fantastic point. I'm so glad you said that.
Yep.
It's about the narrative, and that is a perfect example of how we correct the narrative. Because I said side effects is because it's everything.
That's how they teach you.
Everything everything I dealt with at the hospital and what I was taught. And so, we get caught in this paradigm and we need to break out of it. So I will make a concerted effort to not use the term side effects.
Yeah.
I'm going to say effects. Chuck, is unwanted effects?
Good.
Is unwanted effects a good terminology to use? Is that one? Yeah, repeat customers.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Well, that's about it for what we did this week. Well, I got working on the Jeep, rebuilding the drivetrain one part at a time. It's
There's more. You get in, fix something, and go, oh wait, how come not shaking? Oh, we have something else.
It's 16 years old, and I had a vibration in the front end. And as we got that vibration taken care of, we found another one in the drivetrain.
Whoops.
And then we found it. So now Darren says he's got it. He's got the very last one, the very last piece we need to replace.
So you should tell him. So Sunday, Darren disappears. He took the Jeep for a test drive, and I was over at a neighbor because I was meeting the new friend, the people that want to come into the community and learn and that kind of thing. And so I was over there, and I get home, and G says, you should probably go ahead and call Hacks and make sure that he's okay. He's been gone a while, and I'm not sure what's going on. And I was like, oh, I said, well, check your phone first, see if he's tried to call you. So G calls him, doesn't see anything. So he calls Hacks. Hacks not answering his phone. So I was like, okay, well, let me call, see if he'll answer my phone call. And so I call, no call, and I'm like, I don't know, this doesn't sound right. And it was probably what, 5 minutes, 10 minutes after that. And so then all of a sudden we get a phone call from a neighbor down the road. And guys, you have to remember when we say neighbor, you're talking like
5 miles.
Yeah, it could be 5 miles down the road.
This one is 5 miles.
Yeah, exactly.
That's 4 point something.
Yeah. And so, but yeah, so I get the phone call and I'm like, hey, what's going on? And this is, I won't use this real name. Well, I think everybody knows it. This is Darren. Yeah, the Jeep is on the side of the road. Where's the Jeep? And he goes, well, I went down to this town and then I made a right. And it's like, holy crap, could you even get it off the road, off the highway? Because it's a highway, but there is no shoulder. And so, like, did you at least get it in a spot? He's like, kind of. And I'm like, okay, what do you need me to do? And like, I'm in the middle of dinner and getting that stuff ready. He's like, well, you can come get me. And I'm like, on my way. So I dropped everything, went and got him. And then we go and he's showing me where to go. And I'm like, holy crap, you had to walk all that way? And he's like, yeah, it was a hike. Now I was thinking he said he got down the one road, made a right, and died right then and there. No, he was like where it starts curving around and going down. Yeah, he was way down there. And I was like, and I even looked at it as I'm slowing down. I'm looking at it on the side of the road. And I go, how am I going to get this big truck without going down that ravine in front of the Jeep to get it started? And Hex is like, you can do it. Just get up there, turn around, and then come back and we'll figure this one out. And I was like, okay. And so went in, turn around.
As we were working on the Jeep, we knocked the lead on the battery loose. Mm-hmm. And as he was driving, it popped off and the battery discharged.
Yeah. And he was so cute. He said, I'm really surprised that there's no traffic. You would think for a highway there'd be more traffic. You're out in the middle of nowhere. And what little traffic came through, nobody stopped for him.
See, Rabbit, this is a 2006 Jeep Liberty, and it's missing the four-wheel drive axle or differential. So it's only two-wheel drive right now, and there's no way I would take it off-roading like that, even if it was four-wheel drive, because like I said, it's 16 years old and it's really beginning to show its age.
Now, if we still had Pepe, that would be a different story. Pepe, we would take out.
Pepe.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Pepe.
That's what you get for marrying me and getting me pregnant.
Pepe was a 1984 CJ7.
Yeah.
With
that one we would still take
the straight six and the what was it, the 5-to-1 front end gear ratio on it. That thing was awesome. I had 43-inch tires on it. If I could get the tire, it was lifted high enough that if I could get the tire onto the obstacle, the front end would drag the entire Jeep up over. Oh, I miss Pepe.
See this? Buy another one.
No, I can't.
Are they too expensive now?
They're expensive now.
Oh. Oh.
Well, and here's the deal. I found a 1978 CJ7 down in Oklahoma, which the drive is only about 3.5, 4 hours for us where it is, because it's like literally right across the line. And last time I looked, it was $750, and it didn't run. But talking with Hacks, assuming the drivetrain was good, it probably would only taken $1,000 to get it running.
I think you really need to keep an eye on that, because if you can fix that, turn around and sell
tomorrow.
Yeah, you need to look at it, because if they're already fixed up, they're talking $12,000, so you need to look at it.
No, we don't have the money it takes to go get it and buy it.
Yeah, we do. We can figure it out.
I'd rather put in a generator. I think at this point in time, a generator, since we got two vehicles.
We own the generator. You just need the concrete pad.
I know, but I got to pour it, and I got to pay somebody to run the gas pipe and everything.
We had that.
But I got two vehicles that are functioning and are EMP proof.
The quote on the gas pipe was, remember, somewhere between $100 and $300. It was not expensive.
Just I'm thinking the money's better spent than on a project car right now.
Well, where are you going to work on it?
Exactly.
Okay. All right. So if that's what you're saying, then say that. Don't make excuses.
I wasn't making excuses. No, I wasn't.
Okay.
I think the money's better spent.
It is. Yeah.
Check out Lehman for an all extractor.
No Lehman's for me. They went woke.
She's very upset at Lehman's.
When the family still owned it, it was fine. And I've ordered stuff from Lehman's. And in fact, they saved my cookie quite a few times on stuff that they had that I couldn't get. But yeah, no, no lemons for me. So you start suppressing people and tell them that they can't say anything because it's a bad thing.
There's your
No,
answer.
you don't do it.
There's the question for you.
What's that? Susie asked what good
What works good for psoriasis?
psoriasis? Well, there's a lot of stuff for psoriasis. I would say homemade goat's milk soap,
Homemade goat's milk soap works wonders on it.
comfrey salve
Comfrey
with the
salve
sheep tallow.
with sheep tallow.
Are you repeating everything I say, or do you know the answers already?
No, I'm repeating it because you're not. You've got to project out so they can hear you.
Am I not projecting?
Yeah, you're kind of going up and down.
Oh, that's weird. I don't know why. But yeah, comfrey salve, that kind of thing. The best part is edible frankincense and edible myrrh, which will get your gut in check. And that is 1/8 of a teaspoon, which would just be 1 veggie capsule every day. And you just take that, and then that keeps your gut healthy. So that is one of those things that has to deal with gut health. So you got to fix one thing to get the other, right? And so you're keeping the inflammation down. You're getting the gut right. You're making sure that the skin is well nutritioned and taken care of. There's a lot. Susie, I can help you out with that. I have all of it. So
the frankincense.
Mhm.
So in the chat, throw one up there if you think that the Mexican herbs, cilantro.
Oh, cilantro.
Throw one up there in the chat if you think cilantro tastes like soap.
Yeah, because Susie, if you think cilantro tastes like soap, we definitely have to go veggie caps for you.
Well, no, I don't think cilantro tastes like soap.
I don't think it does either.
But frankincense, everybody was saying, oh, it tastes like black licorice. No, it doesn't. It doesn't taste like black.
I think it tastes like black licorice.
It does no. So it's one of those things that you might not like the taste, because I don't like the taste of it, but it works.
Well, see, Chochi Ibama. So that is really one of the things too. Fresh asparagus season in spring helps. Fresh asparagus, and Susie, you have this ability. You've got the freeze dryer. Get that asparagus in there. You'll have fresh asparagus all year long, and asparagus also helps fight cancer.
Yep.
So it's interesting to me that a lot of the stuff that I make and a lot of the medicines that I make fight cancer helps the psoriasis, which is crazy to me. So somehow together, that's all linked, and it's something to do with the gut. So I just don't have enough investigation and
Right.
information on that to really link the two together. But if there's some natural doctor out there, maybe I'll talk to Daniel or Dr. Lassie about that.
Yeah.
Maybe they can see something about that. And raw cow's milk too, Susie.
See, she doesn't like cilantro.
Okay, so then I would recommend the veggie capsules, and you can get them empty off of Amazon or health food store and that kind of thing. And then you would just fill them, put them in there, and that's how you would take them. It's really not a big deal.
I just get a glass of water and 1/8 of a teaspoon thing and just chuck
pop
in
it
my
in
mouth
and drink it down. I do the same.
Drink it real quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was funny. Somebody in the community got some, and they were like, "It sticks to my teeth." We're like, "Why is it sticking to your teeth?"
I'm chewing on it.
He was chewing on it like it was a Jolly Rancher.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, you can. It just takes a while to dissolve.
Yeah, it's a resin.
So,
it's a resin.
Mm-hmm. You can powder it down too. So if you powder it down, then you use it as a seasoning in your food, and it's really good.
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
No.
What?
Cilantro removes heavy metals from your bloodstream.
Oh yeah,
I did not know that.
Well, interesting that he says that though, because I didn't know that was the claim on cilantro either. And I eat a lot of cilantro. Like I grow cilantro around here like crazy. I eat a lot of it. And so that's pretty interesting because I've had that. It was Young Living. One of the gals came up and she tested everybody, and it said I was high in metals. I needed to get rid of some of my metals. But of course, it doesn't help drinking anything out of an aluminum can either. So that's probably part of the problem.
Yeah, Gregory,
that's the only thing that saves me.
Gregory, the get a hold of Hacks, because yes, Mrs. Hacks had psoriasis and it's pretty cleared up.
Well, so she's not doing it naturally though. She's taking a shot. She's using pharmaceuticals.
No. Yeah. Well, she was using the goat's milk soap stuff.
No. Not
And
not the way that everybody else I was selling it to was. She was not. Because I even gave her some other medication that I paid big dollars for and smuggled into the state, and she wasn't even using that. So yeah, no, she would not be a good one to talk to about that. Who would I recommend on that?
Well, Hack said to talk to Patty. That's why I was.
Oh, Hack said that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's, well, I don't know. Well, then maybe I misspoke, but I'm
I think you did.
Patty's taking pharmaceuticals, so I don't know. But she wants a natural way. Susie wants a natural way. Wasn't that the original question? I thought that was the original question. She wanted a natural way. Did you just break that?
Yeah. I got a temporary crown on today, and the damn thing's loose.
You're grinding your teeth. That's why. Yeah, I mean, reach out to him and see if that's the best option for you. That's the best option for you. That I thought you wanted natural medicine. So.
Hey, here's a recommendation. If you need really quick dental work done,
don't run to the first dentist that has the first
appointment. No. If you need really quick dental work done at a decent price, Aspen Dental is a good option. If you've got more complex stuff to do,
find a different dentist.
I would find somebody that's not a big chain thing. Yeah, I went and got a temporary crown put on today, and the stupid thing's loose now.
Because you're grinding your teeth. You are a tooth grinder.
No, it upsets me.
Well, you need to just call them. They need to fix it, and they need to fix it tomorrow. You're going to have more issues.
Yeah.
So.
Well, last time I was supposed to have a crown put on, but they waited. They didn't have me in the schedule because it was an emergency thing, and so I waited a couple of days, and I was eating a chicken nugget, and I bit down, and it hit that hole where the crown was supposed to go into, because they prepped it and everything. They just couldn't do it, and it popped my tooth in two, so I had to go back in for another emergency thing.
Rabbit 1200 ain't nothing. That is nothing. I wish that's all that his fangs are gonna take was 1200. Yeah.
Yeah, mine was almost 1500.
No, you paid 1500, but you had to put $100 deposit down. That was $1,600.
No, I put $100 deposit
and
down.
then paid them another.
See, look, you're making people drink because you're giving them bad info.
Garen, you brought me the receipt.
It was
$1,400 and some odd dollars, plus 100 is almost $1,600.
The 100 was part of that 1,500.
Are you sure? Because there was no credit for 100. I'm going to pull the receipt out because I know.
See, she does this to me. She knows I'm freaking anal. And when it comes to being worried about being broke, I grew up poor. I grew up without money. I didn't realize it because my parents did a really great job of hiding it. But I grew up without money, and I'm anal when it comes to the money and knowing how it's spent. And yes, it was $14.97 for the total thing. That was with the $100 deposit on it. But the total was like almost $4,000 and so but I got, and to be fair, I got a lot of stuff they had to take care of.
Still have to take care of it, right?
No, they just got to put the crown on.
And then you're done?
Yeah.
You got your filling today?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They did a good job on the filling.
Okay. Yeah, he came home and he couldn't feel anything. Like, is this what it's like to have a stroke?
I was trying to eat, and I'm like having to tilt my head so all the food goes over to one side, and it was terrible.
They already sold the oil.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Keep away from the wheat.
It's a gut thing. You really don't have to keep away from the wheat. You just got to fix the gut. And we're working on this.
Part of fixing the gut is not eating that wheat. Wheat we use today is poison.
So Chris is now eating wheat when he wants it,
and he knows he shouldn't be.
He fixed his gut, and now he can. And so you just got to make sure it's non-GMO, and that's the difference. So if you eat wheat over in Europe, it is very, very different. So all the people that say that they are allergic to gluten and all this other garbage, they go over to Europe, they eat something that's got wheat in it, and it doesn't make them sick because it's non-GMO. It's not crossed. You're not getting two different kinds of wheat in one. Well, and then if you cut it in America, you eat, and everything has been genetically modified, That is what's making you sick. Quit eating that.
Well, and the wheat we use here in America is illegal to grow in most places in the world.
Yeah. And dairy, I don't agree with that. Raw dairy, drink that. That has all the natural medicine in it. So you're not depleting. I know I'm not arguing. I'm just telling you this is evidence, things I've seen with my own eyes. And the doctors in the community have seen with their own eyes what I'm doing and pushing on people and what is working. Raw cow's milk works wonders for a lot. So, just you have to make sure, how is it being fed? Is it being fed soy? That is not what you want. No soy in your animal food because that's coming into your body. And so, remember what I say all the time, food is medicine. And so really pay attention to the ingredients and what you're eating and where it's coming from.
Yep.
And when you can get from local farmers and you can do all of that, find out how the local farmers are growing and what they're feeding their animals and what's going on. Makes a huge difference.
I think I got to just repeat what somebody told me about the milk thing. Last week I was complaining because of the weight loss and all that stuff. Somebody pointed out, and I think it was Darren, I think it was Hacks, pointed out that milk is really good at doing one thing, and it's the thing it's made for, making baby cows big and fat. And I was like, you know what? It's the perfect way to put it. So, was talking with the milk lady, and she suggested 24-hour yogurt.
And she thought you were making 24-hour yogurt because we had been getting so much milk, and I'm like, no, he's drinking it.
Yeah, but so I made 24-hour yogurt, and I started doing it. Huge difference. Number one, I do not have the craving for the milk like I did when I was drinking the raw stuff. I get 1 cup a day and I'm good. I'm not craving it like I was. Started looking. So 1 cup of milk has 12 grams of sugar in it. A cup of regular store-bought yogurt has 8 grams of sugar. And I could not find, there's not a lot of easily accessible information about the what is it, the GRD or the SC. There's something that the 12-hour yogurt and 24-hour yogurt and 36-hour yogurt, but there's not a lot of nutritional information. But yes, it works. It works great. So if you're looking to help lose some weight, get your gut back, and it does. It gets your gut back in shape in really quick order. Try making some 24-hour yogurt. Just regular yogurt, make it the same way, except do it for 24 hours instead of 10 to 12 hours.
We're not heating it up, right?
Well, and yeah, I'm not heating the milk. I'm doing the room temperature thing.
You have a video on that now.
Yeah.
Don't you? Just
we
go
did.
back and reference the video. He's got 2. One where you do it the way that USDA says you need to do it, and then one that is the natural way, and that's the 24-hour yogurt. So both videos are up there, and you can kind of compare and see what you want to do.
That's funny. Neighbor Chris said the same thing about getting milk when he was growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Just going straight out to the bulk tank and drinking it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, Julie, and hey, we didn't say hey to you when you came in. Raw goat's milk is better than raw cow milk. Seriously, keep it clean.
We're excited because we just had 2 new babies yesterday.
Yes, I did a short.
Was it yesterday or Sunday?
2 days ago.
Sunday. Yeah. So we just had 2 new babies Sunday, so we'll be milking here pretty soon.
So yeah, but
cheese, more cheese, please.
yeah. So yeah, it's a thing. So that, and hello.
Excuse me.
Are you supposed to be on the table? Are you supposed to be up there?
And you definitely don't type, so I'm not sure where your calls are.
What are you doing? Get down. Get down. Get down. Oh, she just buried her head. She's so upset that she was told to get down.
Okay.
She's pouting now. She's literally pouting. Look at that. Mommy, he was mean to me. Get down. I tried some raw milk in Kentucky. I remember trying it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was very nasty.
Wait, it was nasty.
I didn't like it when I was a kid either. I did not like raw milk when I was a kid. It's just Tiger just got a cheese press. So you know what? I had never done hard cheese, and that's something that I was getting ready to do before we started moving, and
we just haven't had time since we moved.
that and don't have the room either. Is because I did all the cheese processing down in the processing kitchen. Yeah. Grew up on goats and cow milk. Rabbit did.
And a lot of people are like, I don't like cow's milk. It tastes funny, blah, blah, blah. There's a secret to cow's milk. I had a coworker one time, well, another gal that worked in the office. She didn't do real estate, but she would actually tell me, she's like, that's what they use for babies' milk formula, and all the babies smell like goats. And I'm like, well, that's because you didn't do it right. You needed to go straight to the refrigerator on a fast cool down.
Keep it cool, keep it clean, and get it in the get it as cold as possible, as quick as possible, and it's great.
Yeah.
No, it does not have it enough. Enough is a relative term. It does not have the same amount of cream as the cow's milk. The Nigerian, was it Nigerians? Very rich, and yes, it made cream. We never could get enough to make butter because we were always using it for something.
Well, you were
else.
drinking it, and I was making soaps and all that stuff, which we'll be back into. I'm gonna get back on the soap making.
Yeah, Joseph G. The milk lady said that once they go off of the grass and they start eating the old stuff, it does taste a little bit different.
Well, and so that was one of the things too, though, that Tracy does. She ferments a lot, so the cows actually get the sauerkraut and the fermented food and all of that, and that helps with the taste of the milk. And she'll even, it's funny because she'll tell me, I'll go pick it up, and she'll say, hey, I just want to let you know I ran out of sauerkraut, so I switched them over to XYZ, and then let me know if it tastes different or something like that. He can usually never tell. And he's like, but unless it's, she switches back to something. I can't remember what she did. And it was fermented carrots. And you were like, why does this taste so good? And it was literally that switch between the sauerkraut and fermented carrot juice. So, but yeah.
Yeah, like I said, it never lasted that long.
Yeah.
Rabbit, seriously.
Yeah, never.
Okay, so let's talk about some stuff that's going on that we need to address. We need to talk about
the things that made me go,
So in the state of Kansas, the ACLU and the Kansas Teachers Union are giving schools the advice that they do not need to tell parents when their children wish to transition to it.
Get out of here.
Yes, this is what they're telling them, which according to the person I was listening to on the radio was not good legal advice to begin with. But it's indicative of a problem that a lot of places are having. And number one, I suggest that if you have kids or you have grandkids, you need to start paying attention to these things. You need to look at what's going on with school administrations, because these are not teachers that are making this suggestion. These are organizations that influence the teachers. All right. This is a group of people that think the state knows better how to raise your child than you do. And this is a bad thing, because what they are attempting to do is they are attempting to separate the parent from the child and make it so that the state has more influence on the child than the parent. This is a reason why we talk about building community. This is one of the reasons we talk about building community. You have to be involved in your local organizations and understand what's going on in your locality and nip this stuff in the bud before it becomes a real issue. And I'm kind of being hypocritical here, because we're not as involved in the school district as what we used to be. Once our kids graduated, a little bit of fatigue had set in, and
we're also no longer in that school district.
Yeah, and but we're not in the new one. We're not really involved. So that's one thing that we need to do. We need to start taking a more active role in knowing what's going on, right?
Yeah, I just don't see that crap jiving here in this
Well,
county.
you never know.
But
You never know. So that's one thing that's going on. So get involved. Same thing with your churches in the area. Know what's going on in the churches. There's a lot of churches that have been infected with the social gospel, and they are teaching apostasy. Um, it's we get involved in the civic organizations, and I need to get back into going to VFW. I need to start going to VFW again. Um, it's kind of a pain in the butt sometimes, but it's a good civic organization, and you can get a good pulse of the community by joining these local clubs.
especially in the auxiliary, because then you start learning, oh wait, there's a lot of people behind, or oh wait, okay, this is a good boys club, or oh okay, yeah, we can work stuff and everybody wants to help out.
So
women do things a little bit different.
So that's the first thing. The second thing, did you guys see this Sylvia something or some lady on MSNBC? So the new narrative is Christian nationals, and Rob Reiner made a very bad movie talking about it, which did not do well, and by all accounts is terrible. It doesn't matter. The narrative's out there, and this lady was on MSNBC, and she started warning everybody about the danger of Christian nationals. Now, a Christian national is somebody who thinks that our rights are derived from a higher power and not from an earthly body, i.e., the government. And they are making the case that we are a threat. People that believe our unalienable rights come from a higher power are a threat. There's a little document, and some of you may have read it at some point. It's called the U.S. Constitution, and it is laid out specifically to delineate that our rights.
White Christian nationalists is what Julie Cook said.
No, Christian nationalists.
Well, but white wasn't in front of it.
No, they weren't talking about white.
So all Christians. Then.
I think by default, from where it was coming from, you could probably assume that yes, they were talking about white people too.
That's why they get sick.
Get your nose out of there. She was chewing on the medicinal plants. But yeah, so be aware of that. Be aware that narrative is out there, and it's going to be used against us. And so again, this is why we need to become involved. We need to understand what's going on politically in the areas that we live in, and we need to make sure that we are sharing our experience and informing people about what the Constitution says and what the founding ideas of the country are about. It's going to get worse. This election cycle is going to probably, in my opinion, probably going to be the worst one that we as adults have seen. Yeah. See, and Gregory's got it right. He hit it right there on the head. There's nothing. Yeah. Well, and if you believe, even if you're not a Christian, and you believe that our rights come from a higher power and not from the state, they're still lumping you in there. All right. So it's they're twisting words, and they're using it to politicize everything. All right. So it's something out there, and it's going to get worse. And this type of propaganda and demonization. I don't know if you guys watched the live about what evil was. They are getting into some different stages of politicide and genocide now, and they're actively working to move up that path.
New York is doing a great job at it.
Yeah. There's the third thing. What they're doing to Trump. I'm not. If you guys don't know, I'm not a Trumpster.
But what they're doing is very unethical.
The man is extremely flawed. He was, in my opinion, the last election, he was the best man for the job at the time. So, I voted for him twice. First time because he was the lesser of two evils. The second time because I honestly thought he was the best man for the job. First president I ever voted for because he was the best man for the job, not because he was the lesser of two evils. But what they've done to him in New York just shows what the problem with the judiciary is. That judge basically violated the Eighth Amendment with what he did, and the point, I'm not necessarily talking about Trump and that court case against him. I'm talking about the judiciary that is deciding it doesn't care about the law. They're going to legislate from the bench. They are going to step into the role of Congress and start legislating. And this goes to I've done several videos on this. There's going to come a point in time, and I hope it's later than sooner, but there's going to come a point in time when they just say we don't care, and we're not. This is the law, and we don't care. They're already trying to do it, and they're doing it specifically with the Second Amendment in an attempt to force people to do what they want to do. So these are things that are happening in our country right now, and they all are important ideas why we need to be involved with the community. We need to, even if you don't like the people at the top of the ticket, you need to make sure you're voting locally, because locally is where real change happens, and it's where you have the most effect in your daily life whenever you're voting. Yeah. The next thing, seeing lots of people, they do the updates. They're getting updates and field intelligence from viewers, and they're doing it. The Southern Prepper One does it. Popular Report does it. Several other people do it. Seems to be that there's a lot more food shortage things popping up in these updates that they're getting from people, and people are seeing it at the local level. I don't know if you guys are seeing it. I don't go to the store, so I'm not seeing it. She said she's seeing it, but she's saying it's not as bad as what some of these other people are seeing.
The shortage and inflation?
The shortage. Well, the inflation, yeah.
So you can take care of that. So the inflation that I'm seeing, and I noticed, and I showed G, I'm like, okay, so if I buy heavy whipping cream, because I know I've got, like, Friday I'm going to send out a bunch of orders and that kind of thing for cinnamon rolls. So I know I need a lot of heavy whipping cream. So I'll go buy, heavy whipping cream, and I can usually get it in, I think that's a pint, 1 quart. I can get them in 1 quarts. Now they come in a half gallon, and the price is like crazy, which the price was crazy before. So in their way, I think they thought they were making it more affordable, but really what they're doing is they're making it so that there's more waste, because how many people cook like I do on that volume? You'll never go through all that cream. And so super concerned about that. My barbecue sauce. I have a go-to barbecue sauce that I usually go get. And so she's like, well, no big deal. Just go ahead and look on Amazon, because Sam's Club's not carrying it anymore. He said, just go look on Amazon and see if they've got it. So I go into Amazon, half-gallon jug, and it's not even a full half gallon. It's 5 pounds. And so a 5-pound jug was, what I tell you, $32. $32.95. And so it's like, what in the world is going on here? And like, this cannot be right. And he's like, well, how much did you pay for it? And it's just like $8 or $9 for a half a gallon. And so for 5 pounds. And so anyway, I think I found the new branding. I ordered one. G and I are going to try it. We're going to taste it against the other. And he says, well, hell, you still have a jar of it, which there's only a little bit left. And he said, just look at the ingredients. And he said, he'll be the taste tester.
I'll be the guinea pig.
I'll just figure out how to make it.
What I do for you people at festivals is just beyond the pale sometimes. I will subject myself. I told her she needs to make her own. I mean, seriously. It'll save money, and it would be better, because
but when I make it, it's going to be a 5-gallon bucket.
Even with the brand that we buy, it's Oklahoma Joe's is what we like. Mm-hmm. But even then, it's got all the fillers and stuff, stabilizers, and all that stuff. So,
I did find one that's pretty responsible. It's gluten free. It's which Oklahoma Joe's is gluten free, and then there was some other stuff in there that was free. No soy.
Rabbit buys his up at the Amish store
For $6.99 each for 5 gallons. I'll call first because one is either going to be 5 hours, the other one's going to be 3 hours, or the other one's going to be an hour. So I'll call first. I'll see what everybody's got, see if they have it. But yeah, no craziness. I could not believe the price on that.
Yes, they're so that family that got raided, the Miller family in Pennsylvania, that we were talking about last week, and what All Americans talking about. You realize that they were raided and part of a lawsuit by the USDA, the Pennsylvania
2 years ago.
2 years ago, and so this is the second time that they've done this to them, and it's
it scans here in Louisiana.
It's obvious.
This is
It's
not
obviously
Louisiana.
that it's obvious that it's a purposeful thing because they were in this first lawsuit.
You left tax out.
What's that?
Happy
Yeah.
Taste Festers.
You know what? You know what? You know why that
I
is?
told Hax, I said, "Are you staying for dinner?" And he's like, "Well, sure, yeah." And I was like, "Okay." So then I'm going through. I'm like, "What am I going to cook today? What sounds good?" And I'm thinking about it. And I was like, Parmesan chicken stuffed peppers. Like, G can eat this. Hax can eat this. This is going to be good. This is all going to work out. And so as I was leaving to go over to the neighbors, she's like, "Well, so what's for dinner?" And I said something like, "Well, here's what he's planning on doing. Do you want something different?" And Gary's like, "Hax, how does that sound to you?" or something like that. And Hax was like, "Well, all sounds great to me." And so, yeah, I think I do pretty good. Hax says he takes it for the team because he knows I don't have the opportunity for a lot of people to taste my food to make sure that it's good.
Gregory, I don't know if it was a trial or a hearing, but I know they had something going on this week.
Probably the hearing because they have to figure out how they're going to play and all that, right?
I'm not
And then
sure.
decide what charges and all that. Are
So,
gonna be
yeah.
brought.
So keep that family in your prayers because they're the one that they're trying to use as a example.
Mm-hmm.
And quite frankly, they're gonna come after people like us eventually to make examples out of
They
us.
already are.
When I say us, I mean you and I.
Like us,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to have a hell of a time doing it.
So
there's a lot of people that know that when I am scorned, I am hell to deal with. So
yeah, state doesn't care.
they're going to figure out if they care or not. They're going to figure out pretty quick.
The state doesn't care
I'm telling you, I'm a fighter.
that you can fight.
I'll fight.
State doesn't care that you fight.
Okay. They also can't come on my land. I have a no trespassing sign. If that gate's shut, you don't have a key to the gate, you ain't getting in. And I'll call the sheriff. I will call the sheriff, and you know as well as I do. Tim's not going to let them come in.
And if they've got a warrant, they're coming right through the gate. They don't care.
What are they going to have a warrant for? What are we doing wrong? We're doing nothing illegal.
They don't. That's it. See, this is how we. The Millers, they did not have. How did they put it? How did they put it in the video I watched? They had an accusation.
Over the USDA
They had an accusation. They had an accusation that was unproven, and they got a warrant.
Or that their milk had bacteria.
All they have to do is find one judge who sides with the way they think, and that judge will sign a warrant, and they will be on your property.
Rabbit, you guys have the same issue over there because we've already talked about this, and so we had this same conversation over in Missouri that we've had here. Yep. And you will be fighting the same thing that we were fighting.
Everybody will. Some people may just I don't know.
Some people may just go, okay, well here, take it. But why do I have to have a license for a greenhouse to sell plants? That's so stupid.
No, what I was gonna say was drink.
You're playing the game.
What I was gonna say was it may take longer in some states. But unless we nip this stuff in the bud at the local level and we start taking back local government and then the state government, it's going to happen. It's going to happen across the board. Yeah. So those are the things that I saw this week that I
Man,
was
you
like,
really know how to bring a girl down.
just it's reality. Reality.
Stinks.
You know. So see, and this is what happens. This is what reality smacks us, and we're not ready for it. So we need number one, we have to think about the negative things. We don't like thinking about the negative things, and I'm not saying like be depressed, but we have to think about, okay, what eventualized, what possibilities are there?
I would say that's man's perspective. Because I have watched several men with that perspective that say over and over and over, this is what's coming, this is what's happening, and all that. And then all of a sudden, and because G and I, we were in this situation, and then all of a sudden, you're like, oh my gosh, and then you're smacked with it in your face because your whole world is getting ready to turn upside down. And you're smacked with it in the face, and you're like, okay, well, I need this, and I need this, and I need this, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And all of a sudden, you've got this plethora list of things that need to be done, and then you're paralyzed by fear. You're so freaking overwhelmed, you can't sleep. You can't, you're stressed out. You know what I mean? And so you have to step back and you have to take a deep breath. Especially women. I've seen men do it too. You just have to step back and you have to take a deep breath and you go, okay, what is the first thing that is the most important thing for me to learn right now? And you start there. So I think be careful how much you focus on how bad the world is. And then also know that the media is lying to you too. So, make sure you put a filter on all of that.
Yeah. So, this is something we need to deal with. Oh, here we go. Piss poor planning creates piss poor performance. Better to know about it now and discuss it when you have the ability to.
Right.
Exactly. And you don't let it depress you, but you think about it. And then you start putting plans in place for dealing with it, and a overly intrusive government is something that unfortunately is a creeping beast that we're all going to have to deal with.
And they keep coming and coming and coming.
I heard a very interesting thing today. They were talking about the 3 types of tyrannies that this guy saw that we face in the future, and the first one was a religious tyranny with he was talking about Europe is what he was talking about, but I see it happening here. He said a religious tyranny with the advance of Islam in Europe, where it becomes a theocracy, and there are countries in Europe where they are going to turn into theocracies if the locals don't do something about it. The second one was an AI tyranny, like what we saw going on with Google Gemini this last week, where the coders had made the AI so woke that it would not show you a picture, it would not generate a picture of white people because that was not that did not have inclusivity and diversity in it. But it would show a family of black people, Asians, and all that stuff. And they're literally trying to write white people out of history. But so an AI tyranny where everything that we do is dictated by an AI that's written by a person. And the third thing was green tyranny, radical, what are they called? Earthists, or whatever you want to call it.
See what Gregory said.
About what?
The state patrol arrested a constitutional sheriff in a neighboring county. They claimed insurance fraud. He said he didn't do it.
Yeah, and they'll start doing it.
They're doing it in New York right now.
Yep. And I heard somebody say this today. They in fact, it was Dan Bongino. He was talking about the rank and file FBI guys.
Bubble up, plum.
The California Highway Patrol is a very radical. They will do what the state wants. All right. So you've got organizations like that that will turn against the people in a heartbeat. And they were saying there's a lot of good FBI agents. Well, you're part of an organization that is corrupt. So being part of an organization that's corrupt in turn makes you part of the problem. And so you either speak up, take your lumps, get fired maybe, be ostracized, lose your job, or you're part of the problem. And I dealt with that when I was working for the DOD. I woke up, you can ask her, there towards the end, even before the whole COVID thing happened, I was waking up every morning going, man, I work for the beast. I work for the exact thing that I say I am against. So it's just these are things we need to talk about. But the good thing is, and the white pills, we're always throwing the white pills out there. The community. The community will help you through this stuff. Community makes everything
It's
stronger.
so important right now.
Yeah. And then you guys are working. There's a lot of people in here working on food security, right? And none of us are truly there, which is a reason why we need community, because it helps offset the stuff that we can't do. And then the alternative economies, they will try to they're trying to bankrupt President Trump so he can't run in the election. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to bankrupt him. And if they'll do that to somebody at his level and his power and money, they won't have a problem doing it to somebody like the Millers in Pennsylvania or you and I whenever the time comes. All right. So this is why we build these things now. We still got time. There's still a lot of time, in my opinion, left. There's going to be things happen that's going to make it harder, but we're not going to get to the point where it's completely out of the question. Okay. Question for y'all: Where do you think in this country the first shots is going to happen? Not a clue. Not a clue. Yeah, I think that the instigating incident is going to be something around the Second Amendment, or something to do with people's children. That's where the first shots are going to be fired.
Well, that shot did get fired. And it got fired a few years ago, and it didn't work out so well for him.
Well, and if you're looking for
in our county anyway,
if you're looking for something like the Lexington Green and Concord, yeah, that's down the road. That's down the road, I think. If the executive branch at any level, state, federal, or lower, decides not to enforce a law or ruling, what are the legal and judicial going to do? Put more ink on paper. Well, Andrew Jackson, the Supreme Court made a ruling on something he did that was unconstitutional, and he said let them come enforce their rule. And we're getting to the point where the government's getting like that.
Yep.
And Tiger, I believe it'll be over the children. That and that's the one thing. That's the one thing that most parents in this country. There are parents in this country that will use their children as status symbols or ways to prove how woke they are. But most parents care about their children more than anything, and people will fight tooth and nail. And here's the deal. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. No true change will happen in this country until the soccer moms and the NASCAR dads, and if you're one of those people, I'm talking about you, until they're looking in the faces of their little Johnnies and Janes and
they're starting
wondering how they're going to feed them the next day.
Yep.
That's when real change will happen in this country. One of the reasons why they have to get rid of the middle class is because the middle class as a voting group is the most what's the word I'm looking for?
Influential.
Yeah, well, it's the most. Their ethics are the most aligned. The middle class, you may be left or right of center, so to speak, but you're all pointed in the same direction. You've all got the basic ethical framework you're going off of. And what they have to do is they have to destroy that middle class in order to get the political power out of that middle and to one end, right?
Ooh, Gregory, that's weird. We were just having this conversation.
Someplace where the biggest shock value will be greater than we have ever seen before. Do I really want to talk about that? Are we talking about where the attack will come?
Mm-hmm.
This is my opinion.
We know the answer.
This is my. Do you guys know what Beslan, Russia, the Beslan incident? This is Chechen rebels went in to Beslan, the government school there in Beslan, Russia, and took it over. There were about 600 children and parents in this school, and they wired the building and held them hostage, and the FSB ended up having to go in and assault the school because they started killing children and stuff. And something like 80% of the children in this town were killed. They killed these kids. That's where it's going to happen. That's where if
and in the country, and where nobody expects it.
Yeah, I think that
it's not going to be inner city.
I think the most effective attack that they do is simultaneous attacks all across the country. And I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I would do it in suburbia.
What a lot of people think is that they're going to target because the biggest effect is going to be on the Midwest. And so there's been a lot of chatter that the Midwest is going to be. So.
And if it's not something to do with the school, it's going to be a bio attack on our agriculture.
Mm-hmm. Which, hello.
You know, if they attack the soybean and wheat crop here in Kansas, it would almost cripple the country. And it'd be very easy to do.
Which is interesting because we just got a postcard for the mineral meeting. And so through co-op, there's a lot more meetings coming up about regenerative gardening and minerals and XYZ. And so very, very interesting. I think they're on top of it. So again, locally, of course.
So again, this is a reason to work on food independence. Mm-hmm. You may not be able to save your crops if they do a biological attack, but you'll have enough stuff set back that you can weather anything that happens.
Weather the hardship.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Prepping is a finite solution to what could potentially be an infinite problem. Mm-hmm. So we have to work beyond that. But the first thing you do, 6 months worth of food. 6 months work. It's getting 6 months worth of food. If you live in an apartment and stuff, do the best you can. Have a plan, right? And sitting here having already done this for as many years as we have, it's easy for me to say that. But we're here to encourage you. If you need help and you want guidance, reach out. Reach out to somebody that's been doing it for a while. There are all kinds of people in the chat that we know. That there's us. There's all these other content creators that we know. We are more than happy to share our experience with you and give you tips on how to do it, right?
Tiger's been paying attention.
Just remember. Yeah.
But yet they're going on the noxious weed list.
We're becoming immune to killings in schools and churches and millions across the nation within a year or two. Actually, there haven't been a million. There haven't been millions. I'm really not sure what it would take to truly shock people.
Mass shootings, just like literally at the same time, boom, boom, boom.
Well, and it's the way it's done. Mm-hmm. It's the way it's done. Yeah. Goes to the. I should be in a think tank. Sometimes my mind goes to the far side. Yeah. Well, you got to think about these things. And the reason why I think about these things is because I was trained for 2 years. It's what I did was to combat terrorism, and protect against it. So we were constantly wargaming and thinking about and studying and doing all this stuff.
See what HG said.
Honestly, either actual food scarcity or removal of convenience, online shopping, everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised when I went in and looked. Like, it didn't matter to me because I've got enough in the pantry and just go kind of do my own thing. And I was looking for certain things, and I was like, oh, this will be more convenient. Went in there, and the more I needed of it, they were out of stock, unavailable, that kind of thing. So that's already starting to happen.
And you should always be able to shop from your pantry if you need to.
What? Seriously, Tim?
Oh my God. Oh.
You too?
No, that reminds me. This is sick. This is the depravity of the left sometimes. So you guys remember who little Davy Hogg from Parkland Florida, that the kid that wasn't in the school but was completely traumatized by it and has become an outspoken anti-gunner.
I have no idea.
Well, he's pretty prominent in the anti-gun community now. He's always popping off saying stupid stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So him and this group of parents from Parkland got recordings of the kids that were killed and gave them to an AI company to create a robocall that they were using to call senators and Congress, representatives. And so they were literally using the voices of their dead children to try to sway votes and sway people on the Second Amendment.
Are you kidding me?
And number one, it's illegal. It's a federal law that you cannot use AI generated voices on robocalls. Yeah, past few weeks. Yeah. So yeah, that's twisted in my mind.
That is sick, is what that is.
That is twisted. But they don't. Again, there's that anti-gun group in New Mexico that went door to door buying guns from people so they could destroy them. And number one, the way they were doing it was against the law federally, against the law in New Mexico. Number two, when they quote unquote destroyed the guns, they did not destroy them in the proper manner the ATF says. So not only did they violate state law, they violated federal law, and nothing happened to them. There were no charges pressed, no nothing, because they meant well. They meant well, and it goes from the bottom to the top. We got the president of the United States is not being charged with mishandling secret material because he's just an old man with a bad memory. Yet he's the greatest president ever. He's running for re-election, and he's got the nuclear football.
Between him and Nikki Haley, I don't even know what to think about this part. I'm just like, oh my goodness, I am so confused. So like, why either one is still in the race? I have no idea. Just no idea. Oh my gosh.
Well, and there's that. There's so many. It's one of the bad things about living in the country and the society that we live in. There are, number one, huge infrastructure. There's so many entry points that you could attack and cause problems. There's so many. Number two, if we want it, we could very easily lock it all down, but then we live in a tyrannical state.
All American, they already are. They already are. There's been several attempts and several successful attempts, and it has happened. So, yeah, that's old news. That's been going on for years. Not that it's not important. It is important, but yes, it's been happening for a long time.
And look, I'm sorry, I did not mean for it to talk about all this dark stuff towards the end. I want to be positive. Just this is what's going on. This is what we need to be aware of, and this is what we need to have answers for. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend we got all the answers. This is why we have these lives. This is why we discuss stuff.
This is why we build community, because somewhere, if we don't have the answer, somehow we can get together and we can pull an answer together. And it's just like we always say, like, if there is anybody that can create something. So there was somebody that was saying when I met them on Sunday, we just have to figure out in the community, we're close. We need a mechanic and we need a doctor and we need this and we need that. And I'm like, we got that. We got that. We got that. And then that's when the neighbor was like, I need to get hacks over here. I've got a Toyota, that kind of thing. And the guy kind of just stepped back and he was like, wait, really? And we were like, yeah. So we have this in our community already and built up. And so why not keep the money in the community, right? We talk about that too. And so we keep that in the community and support one another and do all of that. So you're going to have some hiccups here and there. It's not easy. And, I've learned a lot in the last couple weeks. And so last week, actually. And so I'm figuring things out. And we're trying to learn how to deal with internal politics on your own land, I guess. And so let's just say sometimes you do need written agreements and that kind of thing in order to keep things straight. But
let's drop that time.
I'm just saying. So once you figure that out and get all that stuff, and I don't think that anything is doomed or anything like that, you can get it done. So there has to be a happy balance between all of that, right? So you get your people in, you make sure that, identify whatever, because they're with anybody, I don't care who it is, with anybody, there's going to be a red flag. But is this a red flag that I need to worry about? How do we get through that? How do we figure this one out? Okay, yeah, this person seems great, but then all of a sudden, you pull them in. I'm saying it's important.
Okay.
It is important.
Okay.
And so, this is all stuff, and so don't take it so personal, because this is what people need to know. And so as you're building, because it's just like what they were saying on Sunday, we're so afraid. We're worried about bringing people in, because you start bringing people in, what happens if? What happens if? Well, if you keep going if, you're never going to move forward. And so you have to do that. And then you figure out how to solve the things behind the scenes later. Right? That's where I'm going with that.
Okay. So hacks, absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. We do not let this stuff get us down. It's really easy to let it tear you up and
have to self-check.
Taint your decisions, but
yes.
we're building communities. We're getting out in the garden. We're doing all this positive stuff, and they cannot defeat us. They cannot defeat us in the end. And
self-check is so important, guys. You've got to self-check, because you'll get overwhelmed.
That's kind of sad that we're at the age where
what?
That's funny.
3 seashells?
Yeah. Ren and Stimpy.
Oh.
Yeah, the good thing is we acknowledge that there is a need to prepare. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're building a good little community around our property. Excellent.
Good.
That's awesome.
Good.
That is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. We've been on here. Oh my gosh, we're almost 2 hours, babe.
Yeah. We need to head out. So let's. Oh, Happy Jojo was from Demolition. No, it was Demolition Man, or the 3 seashells was Demolition Man. So, you know what, guys? Great conversation tonight. You guys covered a lot of ground, and you got a lot of stuff flowing for us here.
My squirrels running around.
I know it's good. It's good. We talked about a lot of good stuff. I hope we gave some people some inspiration, insight, something to think about. It's all we want to do here every Tuesday. We want to share what we're doing and get people thinking and getting people trying to do the stuff that's going to insulate them against what may happen or is happening. Just depends on how you look at it.
Yeah.
Right? And you guys, I know a lot of you guys are already doing that, and that's awesome. I've said it before, I'll say it again. The coolest thing we hear about when we go to festivals now are people that have seen us before, and we see them a second, third time, and they're like, hey, guess what we're doing?
Yeah.
And they're doing it.
Yeah.
They're out there doing it, and they're spreading it. It's a disease. It is to the powers that be. What we're doing, we are a disease, and we are infectious. That's why they're trying so hard to shut us down and make it so we don't do it. So be a disease. Oh, that's a T-shirt. Be the disease. You know what?
Would anybody understand that?
The people, if you know, you know. If you don't, then ask.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Phil. Yeah, go ahead and hit the thumbs up if you want it. I have not heard out about the store. I don't know if the problem's still going on or not. I will follow up on
somebody can try to check it out. Apparently what happened, I don't know, Rabbit, if you have time, and then you could just email us or whatever, or hacks if you have a chance. But basically what was happening, they would get things in their cart and then couldn't do anything and just sent everything back or trying to make a comment. So I don't know even if you can go in and make a comment and see. Don't order anything, but just see if you get to that point, if it kicks you out and just sends you back. So I think I kind of understood that was kind of like the problem.
I don't know. I thought.
Well, you read the messages.
I
did.
I thought when they were trying to check out, it was trying to send the email to us, and it was kicking the email back because it wasn't formatted.
A good email? Yeah. I don't know.
It wasn't formatted right. See that? Tim's using his sun oven. Good job, my man. Good job, my man. All right, guys, listen. Go out, live a life done free, and be exactly.
At least 1% better tomorrow than you were today. And until next time,
Go live a life
go
done
live a
free.
life
Seriously.
done free.
Take care, guys.
Yeah.